with your PoliTicks. Throw your hands up. Oh yeah! Who this? PoliTicks with your PoliTicks.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the PoliTicks podcast here on the Lions of Liberty Network, and joined today by Lou Perez and Brian Nichols. No Brian McWilliams, so boo-hoo to that. But
Ooh.
Brian Nichols, is that your first time hearing your creation? Bring the show in.
No, it makes me smile because I think back to making it and Lou sending me over the audio tracks, and it's just Lou going, oh, yeah, and just going through and having to splice them into the right spot. And I just think back to how funny it must have been to watch Lou record that. That was
well, I didn't think you would use every sound that I made, but listening to that 45-minute mix right there, you used every single one.
Damn right, man.
Yeah. Well, I just want to put it out there. Look, I know people are scared of AI, but if you are a hip hop artist and you are looking to sample one of the freshest out there, Lou Perez is right there for you. So
there you go.
For the taking. Oh, yeah.
Make that face again. That'll be a screen grab for in perpetuity. What's that word?
Perpetuity.
Today, Junior.
Too hard to say. But yeah, no, we're going to cut that down, I think, a little bit, but we don't want to do it too soon. We don't want to cut it down too soon. Yeah. And last time I brought it up, but you weren't on the show, Brian, is that like low-key snoring that you added in like towards the second half of it, that sound effect?
No, I don't think so.
No, that's the sound of me getting bored while I was recording it. And he's like, I gotta put this in there. I think one thing though, a lot of people don't know this, but Lions of Liberty, we spent a lot of money putting together a focus group to see how this intro.
It's like 4.2 mil, right? It was nuts.
Yeah, we are in the black, is it? Or in the red? What's the one for when you need money?
I think it's the red.
We're in the red.
We got the Koch brothers money and spent it all on focus groups.
Koch brothers money, Qatar money. Do we have APAC money too? I don't know. I can't keep up.
Not yet, but
but our PayPal is in the show notes. So
well, I'll tell you what, I've been wearing this QR code around me for a while, so just in case I run into any APAC boys out there looking to fund something.
And that, my friends, that's a pro move there. That's a teaser. That's what we're going to get to the last segment here. But let's get into it today. We're going to have a little shorter show. First thing that I want to talk about is Donald Trump. I don't know how much of this you guys got to see on Twitter or whatnot, bringing in these different journalists and experts on Antifa, an Antifa roundtable in the White House. So did you guys get to see any clips from that?
I personally did not. The idea of an Antifa roundtable made me laugh.
Yeah, I didn't see it. The most that I saw was a picture of Andy No. He posted that he was there, and as our listeners will know, Andy No wrote one of the books about Antifa, which
he did.
Yeah, and I had him on my podcast some years back when it first came out to talk about it.
And he's the one who actually got like the shit beat out of him, right, from Antifa back in the day,
multiple times. Yeah. He's the one. There's that picture of him. He's been doused in milkshake. And people are like, oh, it's funny. It was a milkshake. Yeah, but they also threw a lot of other shit at him. And he had, they really fucked him up. And then there was a time where he went back to Portland like years later, and he was outed and chased basically into, I think, either the hotel where he was staying. But yeah, he's definitely put his body on the line. And what's even crazier is that there's another guy out there who I believe is a photographer who's also Asian, and Antifa have accused him of being Andy No and gone after him at events. And he's like, he has to, I think that there might be like footage of him actually saying, "What the fuck? We all don't look alike," or something like that. Like, "You racist fuckers. Like, you're
Don't try to trick us. We know you're Andy No."
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Well, if I knew that backstory ahead of time, that you had Andy No on your show, I would have found the clip of him talking, but I did not. Found the clip of some other guy, some other Asian guy talking. Just,
I was going to say, Andy No.
Anyway, so let's bring that up just to give you a taste of what this was like. There's a bunch of clips going around. They're all pretty much the same. Everyone's talking, giving their spiel to Donald Trump about, what they know about Antifa, the experiences they had. So we'll just give you a little taste of it here.
Thank you. My name's Jonathan Cho. I am an investigative reporter for Frontline's Turning Point.
Jonathan Cho, not Andy No.
I believe that might be the person I'm talking to.
See, we came full circle.
There we go. Non-scripted.
USA, also a senior fellow at Discovery Institute in Seattle. And I cover far left extremism as well as the homeless drug crisis in America. And I find it oftentimes those worlds intersect. And hot off the presses, what I wanted to bring to your attention today is a report from a Capital Research Center here in DC in conjunction with Discovery Institute. They just put out this study right now. And what it shows is that Antifa is heavily embedded in the homeless and housing nonprofit sector. In many cases, the homeless industrial complex is running cover for Antifa. Antifa is benefiting from American tax dollars, and they're essentially being used as the muscle. Let me give you an example. There's a group called Stop the Sweeps in many US cities right now. They get in front of encampment sweeps. What they're doing quietly is they're bringing in Antifa militants to manufacture a crisis to make the police look bad. Another group right now that is behind Antifa and working with Antifa very closely, based on the research that we have right now that we're going to give to you and your team, are the Democratic Socialists of America, also known as DSA. Again, these far left progressive groups tend to be aligning themselves with Antifa.
Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting thing there is, and I don't know the validity behind that report, if that's true with Antifa, co-opting the homeless industrial complex. Would not surprise me at all.
I was going to say, would we be shocked? They all smell bad. They look like they're all homeless. Like, walks like a duck and quacks like a duck. It might be a duck.
Yeah, I mean, was he really sure that they were really working together, or is it all just one big movement?
Well, they weren't really sure he wasn't Andy No, so I guess tit for tat.
And also, I just want to congratulate the reporter on putting on the whitest accent possible, just completely beyond John Wayne. That was interesting. Something to think about. So I had a guest on my podcast years and years back, Nancy Rommelman, who's an author and a journalist, and Nancy used to live in Portland, and she would report on the stuff too. And thankfully, she had her dealings with Antifa and stuff like that. Fortunately, I don't think anything ever led to violence. And she's a great writer. And I think one of the things that I remember her talking about was, you have these movements like Antifa, where if they're getting together and breaking shit and getting into fights, you might be attracting people who aren't necessarily true believers. But what they do believe in, or what they're into, is the destructive nature of it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's sort of, you're opening up the doors to saying like, oh yeah, like, I mean, who are you to say that some violent junkie on the street isn't a part of the resistance when they go after ICE, or when they go and burn down stuff, or when they just make life a living hell for the Nazis who live in Portland. And by Nazi, it's anyone who's to the right of Lenin, John Lennon, to the right of John Lennon. And I think that that's something there. And then also just seeing like what kind of influence Antifa, wields. It's so funny to hear this, the idea that Antifa is an idea rather than an organization, but yet somehow when it comes time to organize and bust up shit, everyone gets together in black with their black umbrellas, etc. It's like, it's pretty organized. It's a pretty well organized idea. And then when you have, politicians capitulating to them, and I'm sure a number of people, have watched what's going on in Portland and been like, why don't they just fucking arrest them? Like just round them all up and get them the fuck out of there. So there's questions of like, what role are the people in power playing in just allowing this to go on? Are they afraid that if they actually do clamp down hard, is something worse going to happen to them or to their city? I don't.
Well, and to piggyback on that, Lou, right? Like, so I had a guy on my show named Jeff Clayton. He's I think the executive director for the American Bail Coalition. And he was talking about how bail bonds have been so manipulated through the legal system that what we're seeing is just to your point, like these low, I'd say like these low threat, low repeat offenders, or whatever they classify them, they're able to pay for the bail to get out, and they're bonded out almost immediately. So you have people who are getting arrested and then using the system as it's been created to then effectively get right back out into the streets and continue what they've been doing. And there's no real pushback. That's why you have folks who, I forget the specific example, what the guy's name was, but there was that example a few weeks ago where the father was talking about the guy who just got released from jail who had killed his son. He had been arrested. It was like 30 times. Like, he was a violent offender and he was arrested 30 times. But the way they keep on getting out is because there's been such a push, and this is really back during the COVID era and the BLM era. There's been a push to have this like civil rights, civil justice mentality of everything from our justice system, and it's ended up putting the most violent people back on the streets inadvertently, one could say, or entirely by design, if you look at what we're actually seeing happen in these big cities. I mean, like, that's how this continues to happen in such a manner it does. And oh, by the way, then you have the cops actually running cover for these folks. Was it Nick Sorter? He was out there in Portland. He's an investigative journalist, more on the conservative right. And he gets arrested because he's out there like poking and prodding these folks who are out protesting using their American God-given rights. And it's like, who are you, police officers? You're supposed to be like actually taking care of the violent folks, not the folks who are just simply out there asking questions. But bye, Lou.
Looks like we lost Lou for
Lou away. Yeah, he's like, shit. My cover's been blown. I'm out of here. I'm also Andy. No.
Yeah, poking and Nick Sortis poking and prodding with a camera. I guess that's frowned upon by the police out there. Looks like we're getting Lou back here, maybe. But anyway, yeah, it's just and what you were speaking to there, Brian, about these local, especially in cities and urban areas, we have these district attorneys who. It's not really, there's nothing organic really about it at all. I mean, it's openly known that George Soros has funded, bringing a lot of these district attorneys into power and funded these campaigns.
Yep.
And his son, what's his son's name? Alex Soros.
Yeah, Alex Soros. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's married to Huma, right?
What a nice tight-knit group of folks they all end up being. Anthony Weiner's ex-wife, now married to Alex Soros, the son of the biggest donor in liberal progressive politics.
That's
how
wild.
fitting. Can't hear you, Lou.
Yeah, we lost your audio. Yeah, still don't have you. Yeah, it might not be plugged in. Well, you're figuring that out, Lou.
Can you hear me?
We got you now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm so I was going to say is I'm going to blame this on George Soros, even if he had nothing to do with it. So I have I bought a camera that cost a little bit of money, and I think it overheated. So then it the cam link just went out, and now I'm using my camera on my computer, and it looks kind of the same. So I'm like, there was no reason for me to buy this camera. And then the audio, like this thing. Now this is just for show. Now we're just using the audio from my computer as well.
And it actually sounds pretty good.
Unfucking real. George Soros, you son of a bitch. You tricked me into buying this Sony camera and whatever the hell this microphone is.
I have found with webcams that the more money you spend, the worse they are generally.
100%. Yeah, it's like a fancy car. It's like, do I get the Kia Optima or do I go for the Mercedes Benz? And it's like, well, if I go for the Mercedes Benz, I'm going to spend a third of my time in the shop, and it's going to cost me more money. And by the way, it still gets me from point A to point B in the exact same manner that the Kia.
And look at this bullshit light. That light is unnecessary, but I bought it, but I paid for it. Man, George Soros, man. Tell you what, man, I got a QR code right here. Not interested. Not interested. No, I am interested. This QR code, you're gonna have to. Maybe. Although
this one.
Yeah.
Scan this
one,
QR code.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scan them all. Scan all the QR codes. Moving on from Antifa to someone who's probably pretty friendly to Antifa.
Queen Latifah.
Katy Porter, who's running for governor in whoops, I lost my screen. There we go. Who's running for governor in California. And we'll get into showing an interview that she had here with just a local TV station, not like Fox News or anything like that, just a local California TV station. Very fair
CBS
interview.
Affiliate, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. And you'll see what happens. And honestly, like this lady, a week ago, I had no idea who she was. And now, like, the only thing I see on my feed is this woman just being angry. And, I think she's doing her best to change it from, being called a Karen to being called a Katy. So she's working.
Katy Porter is every swipe left I've ever made. Just fucking get out of here.
And I'm not trying to pick fun of her face, but like when I first saw her, I thought it was a Shane Gillis skit where he was dressed up as her. That's what I thought it was, because she wears her hair way too pulled back, and it looks like she definitely has a receding hairline. But yeah, yeah.
All right, well let's get into it here. Play some of this interview.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. Mm-hmm. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't.
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody.
Self-defense class right there.
This is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that.
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care. I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation?
Never a follow-up question.
She's saying the quiet part out loud.
It's always swipe left. There's never a follow-up. Just swipe left. Never got this far.
I've never got this far.
Even my ex-husband never asked me any questions. He didn't want to talk to me.
Just the arrogance. Sorry, we can keep going. I'll say my commentary.
We'll watch the rest here. There's less than a minute left.
No.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make.
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through?
Was she wearing
to ask
sleeves
follow-up
before and
questions
she got
because
so
that's my
pissed she
job as a
ripped them
journalist.
off?
But I will go through and ask
I
things.
don't
And
remember.
if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either.
Swipe
Why are you
I would
putting
love
it
to
on
continue to
camera?
ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every
What are
one
all
of these
those
issues
other
that they care
monitors?
about.
What are they? Are they in the
And
back of
redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an
Walmart?
entire story just on the responses.
This is the interrogation room.
And
Yeah,
if
she was
everybody the
shoplifting
same,
in
follow.
Walmart, and they have her in the back talking to her about it.
That's pretty much the end of it. But
I have never had to do this before. That she said the quiet part out loud. Like anytime a Democrat gets any inkling of pushback from anybody in corporate media, it's like they got slapped across the face with like, how dare you? You're supposed to be on my side. You don't ask me these questions. And by the way, the peak irony is that Katy Porter in Congress, her whole shtick was holding the Republicans' feet to fire during congressional testimony. So she'd be the one asking the tough follow-ups. It's just like, who do you think you are that you're supposed to be the one to ask the tough questions? But the moment you get asked, not even a tough question, just a question with then a follow-up question, that this is a hostile interview. Like she would, and by the way, this also epitomizes why folks like Kamala Harris refuse to do the actual podcast circuits, because they had their little, pre-canned, like if they were Woody from Toy Story, you pulled the string in their back, they'd have like the 4 or 5 different catchphrases. And the moment you put them into actually like having a follow-up, it's like their fucking brains explode because they have no idea how to think on their feet and actually like answer a question that they weren't pre-planned for. It's hilarious to watch in real time and also kind of sad.
Yeah, I guess what I don't understand is she's getting, it's softball questions. Like it doesn't get any softer than this. You're going to eventually, if you want to be governor of the 4th largest economy in the world, which is what California is, you're going to get questions during a debate that are a lot more difficult than, hey, are you going to do anything to try to win voters who voted for Donald Trump last election? They'll be a little bit harder than that, the questions you're going to get.
I'm not a PR person, John. But wouldn't it be just so easy to say, well, mathematically speaking, one could argue I don't need to win over those votes. But as a proud Californian, I want Trump voters to know you fucked up, you messed up, and you should be riding with Porter. And then she goes and she puts her sleeves on, stands up, and gets out of there. I mean, I think that would be a good answer, right?
It would be better than what she did.
Yeah, better than what she did.
Because this opened the door, by the way, to the floodgates. There's that other video that came out with her. I don't know if sure. Do we have this, John? The video of her when she's preparing for a conversation on the Green New Deal,
where she tells the staffer to get the fuck
out of my shot.
Yeah, we do. I think I do have that. Actually, I don't know if I do.
No, well,
I had it at one point. Now I can't find it on the.
Yeah, no worries. Like literally, all it is her. It's like she's in her kitchen or something, and she's being fed like a prep question. And as she's giving her like her spiel, one of her staffers just walks like not even in the frame. I mean, it's like 50 feet behind her in a different room, and she just pauses, and you can see there's the meme going around her going, like you can see her getting ready to say, "Get the fuck out of my shot." But like she literally just screams at a person that's on her staff.
I found it. I found it here.
You got it? Okay, yeah, let's play this. And by the way, there's a blogger who runs this blog who they basically compile all these horror stories of Democratic staffs from congressional on Congress, that is. And Katy Porter has consistently been ranked the #1 worst person to work for as a staff member on Capitol Hill.
So in the interest of time, I'm going to play this clip and then skip right ahead to the Whoopi Goldberg part, and then we'll talk about both because we only got a few minutes left.
Oh,
but
shit,
first,
yeah, that's right.
This is with the staffer cutting in the background.
The state could lose. Get out of my shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect.
Okay. You also were in my shot before that.
Wait, was this the same day? She's wearing the same outfit.
She's like Peter Griffin. She wears the same thing every single day.
Wow. But literally, that was one of the top comments. Like, is it her or is it the outfit that makes her a complete and total bitch?
She's like, it's like the Hulk. Like, don't make me angry. It's like, well, don't make me wear this sleeveless poncho.
Don't make me wear my sleeveless green poncho.
Yeah. You wouldn't like me in my sleeveless green poncho.
And can you all see why I thought she was Shane Gillis at first?
I can see it. I can see
in the first clip with the studio lighting that was so poor. Definitely thought she was Shane Gillis.
So we'll skip. Actually, that's pretty much it there. So we'll skip to Whoopi. Right. That's close enough.
Whoopi.
And they're critiquing this. This is The View. Obviously, they're pretty much all defending her, except for the one almost Republican who's kind of given some pushback. But this is just Whoopi's part here.
Capable of realizing that they're stepping in poo.
I just read that cussing, people who cuss a lot are smarter, which I take a lot of comfort in.
I don't think that's true, by the way. The people that swear the most are smarter. I don't think there's any actual evidence to that. But what Whoopi was saying there at the beginning, I kind of cut it too soon, but she's saying there's people out there who aren't capable of knowing when they're stepping in poo. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Well, I think as we were talking about before, the Porter stuff could have gone way worse. And John, I think you have a story about Porter and her ex-husband, right? Little spousal abuse, little domestic violence.
We're lucky this didn't take place in the kitchen. If this interview took place in the kitchen. Actually, do we check on that staffer that she told to get the fuck out of her shot? Does she have 3rd-degree mashed potato burns?
They can't find her. I don't know.
Yeah, Brian, can you tell the audience what Ms. Porter did to her ex-husband?
Yeah, so the court documents come out here saying that Katy Porter allegedly, had taken a big pot on the stove of mashed potatoes, right, that had been mashed up and sitting and cooking, and in a dispute with her ex-husband, threw the mashed potatoes and dumped them on his head, giving him, I think, a 2nd and 3rd degree burns on his scalp. Just imagine, shampoo, right? But instead of shampoo, it's scalding mashed potatoes.
There's that tingling feeling. I feel it tingling on this side of my head.
I feel Irish. I don't know why.
Yeah, and there was another accusation where she threw something like some sort of glass, something that was glass, and it broke on his head. So this just sounds like
a really nice person.
Obviously, I was not there in the kitchen when she did this to her ex-husband, but I imagine after she poured or threw this scalding potato at him, that she then dropped down to the floor and gobbled it all up, just ate it all up, because you can't let that go to waste.
And she screamed, "Your tears are delicious."
Yeah. So look, there's a bunch of videos going out that are really funny of her in that interview that are, AI generated, of her basically, jumping to her feet and smacking the reporter and all that. And they're getting I think I'm the first one to say AI is getting really good at what they're doing. But I would love to see an AI reenactment of her beating up her husband, giving her husband 3rd-degree burns with potatoes, and then eating them off the floor. So just putting it out there for the Cubs of Liberty, if you guys want to make something.
Speaking of AI stuff, I just got to touch on this. You guys saw that Dave Smith put out that picture. He had Nick Fuentes on his show, and it was a picture, them with their arm around each other.
3.5 hour interview, by the way. That was good.
I haven't listened yet, but
they held that position for 3.5 hours
the whole time. Yeah.
Insane.
I said to the picture, I'm like, was this taken at an 80s party? Because Fuentes is wearing, he looked like Marty McFly, and Dave's wearing a sweatshirt that I had in the late 1980s. So I don't know if that's just one he had around that he really likes, or what the deal is. But people obviously turn that into AI, and there's one that has them turn and they start kissing each other, and there's one that has them doing a TikTok dance. And it's like, it's ridiculous. You put any picture on the internet, people can.
Well, it's crazy, dude. Because think back to when this all first, the AI stuff became a thing. And there was that one video that they had tried to recreate with Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And you could tell it looked like a freak show. It was really, really bad. And this is 2021, 2022. And folks were like, see, AI, we had nothing to worry about. And then they did the exact same prompt today, and it looks just like Will Smith eating spaghetti. So yeah, this is 2025. Give it 5 years, and we have no idea what's real and what's fake.
We won't even have to record this show. We'll just prompt it to record a show that we would normally say stuff based on these articles.
Shit would Brian say here?
Yeah, I love watching the Will Smith one where he's eating his career, just gobbling up his credibility and career that he had. Yeah.
Yep. Keep
my
all
went down the drain.
Good mouth. You want to talk about Matt Gaetz quick?
So yeah, speaking of people throwing away their careers, Matt Gaetz may or may not have done that. You could say it. You know, he was almost in the Trump administration, ended up getting out of Congress. But Thomas Massey sent out or tweeted out talking about AIPAC, what it's like to attend an AIPAC reception. Massey's never been to one, but he says that Gaetz had shared this story with him before, and now Gaetz sharing this on some podcast. I guess
Tim Pool. He was a guest hosting here on Tuesday.
Okay, because Tim Pool he's sick or something. Is that right?
No, I think he just took the week off because he was out in he was out at Turning Point headquarters the past week doing like a whole show from out there.
Okay. Anyway, this is good stuff. So listen up. Get your QR codes ready. Get them ready.
Initially, I resented the fact that there was no appreciation for nuance. Like if you asked any questions about any decision of the Israeli government in any place regarding settlements, regarding Gaza, whatever, you were like, you had deviated from the script. And I just, in any policy area, I had resentment over that. And then I saw the way the AIPAC worked, and that was weird for like a country lawyer like me. I remember my first AIPAC reception, and like your fundraiser tells you have to go, and your chief of staff tells you have to go, your committee chairman all tell you have to go, and you get there and you wear this name badge, and I remember there's a QR code on it, and what we were supposed to do was go talk to donors, and then if they liked you, they scanned your QR code to make a donation like on the spot. And so can you just imagine how demoralizing that is to like be told that your job for the next several hours to go chat people up, hoping they would scan you like a can of tomato soup on the way out of the meeting.
I mean, it's literally purchasing.
Right. And so I saw that and I was like, wow, that is so freaking weird. And then, I was in Israel. I went multiple times, and I did not like the fact that I found someone in my room rooting around in my stuff that should not have been there at the King David Hotel when I came.
He was just looking for his QR code. He just wanted to scan his QR code. That's what he was.
I really liked him.
Stuff for. I really liked him. I met him. He wasn't wearing it, so I started looking through his suitcase for his QR code.
And by the way, AIPAC's response to that was, "This is categorically false. We use those QR codes as a check-in process." Now, for anybody who works in the B2B space, if you go to any of those expos or conventions, we all get those silly name tags with the QR code. And the entire idea is you go booth to booth, and if you like the person you're talking to, they scan your little badge, and now you're put into a tickler file where they can get reached out to in the future. Or in this case, apparently, you're going to go ahead and get a donation sent right to your campaign. So for them to say this is for check-in, that's complete bullshit. Anybody who's worked in the B2B space knows it's complete bullshit, because this is exactly how these conventions with the name tags work. There's entire software that's built literally just for this, and this is like the whole anti business card thing, right? Like, we have to save the environment. Nobody wants business cards anymore. Just scan my little QR code. So yeah, this is entirely plausible, if not, I would say like almost certainly confirmed, based on the fact that he saw it firsthand. Massey's like, yeah, LOL. And then AIPAC coming out so vehemently against it. But how insane is it, by the way, that like this is just accepted? Like a foreign government who has their own little entity here in the United States lobbying congressional staff and members to vote in a particular interest of a country that's not our country, even if those interests don't serve the United States of America. Like, if it was any other country, would this be allowed? Absolutely not. It's so stupid.
I have a question. How much does it cost to a country lawyer, self-described country lawyer? Like, I do wonder if there, is like a senator versus a congressman. Does one have a higher price? And also, I wonder if Gaetz earned anything. If he went and checked like his Venmo or whatever, and was like, man, this guy deposited however much money into it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we should be able to like FOIA that, right? You should be able to FOIA, like, see how much money, I guess AIPAC is donated to whichever.
Well, have you seen those pictures, Lou, over on? So here, John, pull up that image if you could really quick again of Thomas Massey, or like go to his actual account. There's this like AIPAC tracker. It's either a website or an account that's on Twitter, and you'll see like Massey's the only one whose name is always in the green because he's received zero funding. But you'll see this a lot where they'll have like Ted Cruz, Dan Crenshaw, Marco Rubio, and they'll have how much money these respective candidates have gotten from AIPAC, and it will usually follow a subsequent vote of theirs in regards to Israel in some way, shape, or form. So it's got to be open.
It would be wild if like you check out that tracker and it's all like politicians on a conga line at a bar mitzvah, just kind of going around like while the live band is going. Like, is there any music we could put on? Like,
it's like the scene in The Producers, the musical The Producers, where they go to Roger Debris' house and they're singing "Keep It Gay," but instead of that, it's just all AIPAC folks with their QR code scanners.
Hey, whatever brings the money in.
Well, this is also an opportunity for us to thank our sponsors over at AIPAC.
Yes, thank you
for helping us keep the lights on. Although
scan my QR code.
Yeah, and let me tell you, when it comes to it, I am steeply against George Soros, who fucked up my camera and my microphone. And I want to thank AIPAC for potentially buying me a new one. So
you were having the head of Hamas on your show tomorrow, right?
What's that?
You're having the head of Hamas on your show tomorrow.
I'm not now.
Oh, never mind.
The head of Hamas? You mean Thomas Massey? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. Anybody who doesn't bend the knee.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about out of time here, guys. I know we got a hard stop about right this time. So thanks everyone for listening, for watching. If you're on YouTube or Rumble or wherever it is, if you're listening to the audio stream, we do appreciate it. Of course, this is published on our main Lions of Liberty Network feed. We would greatly appreciate it if you went over and subscribed on the PoliTicks podcast feed. You can find it anywhere podcasts are found.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? Was that God? What was that? Is that God or Lou Perez? I can't tell. From Lou Perez's mouth to your ears, go subscribe to the PoliTicks podcast. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Be good. Remember, they're all bloodsuckers.
Spirit finger.